Okay, page 18, finding slope using the slope formula. And actually, I'm going to show you two ways to find the slope. If you have the graph, easiest way to find the slope of a line with a graph is to find two friendly points. And when I say friendly, I mean it crosses the grid lines perfectly, like that looks pretty friendly. Keep following it downwards. That looks friendly. Keep going. That looks friendly. Get several friendly points if you can. And then, secondly, first of all, is your graph going up or down? If this was a video game going left or right, like a side scroller, and your little character, is your little character about to walk downhill or uphill? If it's downhill, you know the slope's negative. If it's uphill, you know the slope's positive. So this guy's walking downhill, I have a negative slope. Okay? The way you find slope with a graph, if it's positive, you're going to count up and right. Up and right. Every time. But since ours is negative, we're going to count down and right every time. Okay? And now when I do my counts, I'm going from friendly point to friendly point. Down and right. My counts are 2 down, 3 right. And then check it to make sure you're getting the same number. 2 down, 3 right. Doing it that way, my slope is negative 2/3. Now I'm going to show you how to get the same thing using the slope formula, because sometimes you won't have a graph. You're going to have to do this. All right. So find 2 points on the line, or if you have a table, pick any 2 points in the table. And we'll do that in just a second. All right. 2 points on the line. I have negative 3, 3. Oops. Negative 3, 3 and 0, 1. Okay? I take this is my x1 and y1, because this is my first point. This is my x2 and y2, because it's my second point. All right? It doesn't matter what order, as long as you label one of them 1 and the other one 2, and stick to the pattern. Okay? So, slope is equal to the second y minus the first y on top. On bottom, the second x minus the first x, and then you simplify. All right, so second y minus the first y. Second x minus the first x. 0 minus negative 3. You end up with a double negative there. That can be a little bit tricky. What's 1 minus 3? I get negative 2. Now 0 minus a negative 3. Whenever you have two minuses, those two sticks make a plus sign. So that ends up being positive 3, which is the same thing we got here, negative 2/3. Let's apply this to one where we don't even have a graph picture. All right, pick any 2 points. My suggestion is pick friendly points and avoid negatives if possible, because as you saw, negatives can be tricky. All right, so let's just start with those two guys, okay? I have 7, 4. I have 10, 8. This is my first graph, my first point. This is my x1, y1, x2, y2, all right? Second y minus first y. I have 8 minus 4. Second x minus first x. I have 10 minus 7. 8 minus 4 is 4. 10 minus 7 is 3. My slope is 4/3. That's how you do that. Let's do some practice on the next page. Page 19. Let's do number 1 first. Let me fold this so I can zoom in for you guys. All right. It says determine the slope from the given situation. We're going to use the slope formula. So, again, I'm going to pick friendly points if I can. Avoid negatives. You can use any 2 points, but just to make it friendly for you. Okay, so I have 0, 8, and 3, 2. Let's do this just right in the table. I'm deciding I'm going to subtract downwards. Okay? And that's okay. I can do upwards or downwards as long as I do the same direction with both sides. So my y's, I have 8 minus 2. My x's, I have 0 minus 3. 8 minus 2 is 6. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. That's my slope. Question 4 doesn't even give us a table, just gives us the 2 points. All right? I suggest making a tiny table. You don't have to, but it makes it a little bit easier because now we're all set. Okay? Since I see bigger numbers on top, this time I'm going to go upwards. Remember, you can pick one way and do it that way every time. The fact is, though, you can go either way as long as you do the same direction both sides. 6 minus 3 on top, 8 minus 7 on bottom. 6 minus 3 is 3. 8 minus 7 is 1. 3 over 1 reduces to 3. Number 7, we're going to do the other way that I showed you on that last page. We're going to find friendly points. Okay, that looks like a friendly point. I do encourage you to find as many as you can because you may not. You want to make sure your pattern is consistent throughout the entire graph, all right? I got 3 friendly points. This video game guy, side-scroller guy, is going to the right, and he's definitely climbing a hill, so we know our slope is positive, all right? That means we're going to go up and right. Up and right is our pattern. Up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1 reduces to 3. Our slope is 3. That's how you do that. Let's open the packet back up, zoom out because we have a little bit of a word problem here. Determine the slope from the verbal situation, then write an equation from the situation. Lucky Lou earns $15 an hour selling lottery tickets. Now I'm going to help you with all these, right? Actually, okay? You can find the slope in a word problem very often if you remember how to P. These words, per, each, and every, can help you find the slope. Whatever number that's close to this, whatever word is in there, there's a very good likelihood that's the slope. Okay, you have to look at other contexts, but for these simple ones, it's very straightforward. Now, number 11 has every. Number 12 has each. Unfortunately, number 10 has none of those, but you'll agree with me that you could substitute the word per, each, or every right there. Right? And that works. Okay? Lucky Lou earns $15 per hour, each hour, every hour. So sometimes you have to get a little creative and find out where would one of these words fit in well. Okay? So we know our slope. The slope is 15. All right? What is the equation? Y equals 15x. Y equals mx, right? Our equation pattern is y equals mx plus b. We don't have a starting value, so it's just y equals mx, y equals 15x. Okay? And that takes care of slope. Actually, we have a little time. Let's go ahead and do meaning of slope. Page 20. Let's do number 1. Identify the slope and the meaning of the slope. In this graph, we have x-axis, number of candles, y-axis, cost in dollars, all right? So it looks like the more you're buying, the more it's going to cost, okay? What is the slope? We're going to find friendly points. There's lots of them here. We have to write them out, okay? We have 0, 0. Let's make a tiny table here. We have 0, 0. We have 40, 20. You can come up with any points. All right? I'm going to use these points, and I'm going to use these to get the slope, and then I'm going to warn you about something about using this graph. All right? So I have my 0, 0 and my 40, 20. I'm going to do this direction. 20 minus 0 on top, 40 minus 0 on bottom. That's pretty easy. That's just 20 over 40. That reduces to 1/2. Right? What does that mean? We'll get to that in a second. Before I do that, I want to warn you. You could go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and some people will say the slope is 1 because we're going up 1 over 1. You got to look at what your grid boxes are worth, okay? It's really going up 10 over 20, up 10 over 20, up $10 over 20 candles. So you could say it's $10 for every 20 candles. We got it down to it's $1 for every 2 candles. If it's $1 for every 2 candles, how much is it for 1 candle? 50 cents. The final slope is 50 cents, okay? You could say half, but in dollar terms, it's 50 cents per candle, right? So the slope is 50 cents, and what's the meaning? The price is 50 cents per candle. Again, there's that word per, each or every. Okay, let's do number 3. Identify the slope and the meaning of the slope. The soccer team is ordering candles to sell for a fundraiser. The team paid $100 for the setup fee and will sell each, keyword, right, per each every, each candle for $15 each. They put it in there twice to make sure we saw that. The relationship between the number of candles sold and the team's profit from the sale can be represented by the function here. Okay? Y equals 15x minus 100. Let's write it in the terms that we like. Y equals 15x minus 100. C, or x, represents the number of candles. So this is the number of candles. Okay? Well, the slope is my ohm value, right? The slope is 15. We also got that out of here. The word each is right by the number 15. The slope is 15. What's the meaning of the slope? It's $15 per candle. And that is some practice on finding the meaning of slope.